Let me ask you something hazardous. Have you ever gazed into someone's eyes and wished you could influence how they feel about you? Not simply like you, but desire you? Think about it. What if you had the capacity to dominate someone's thoughts day and night, to make them think about you even when they attempt not to? What if their pleasure, their misery, even their tranquility hinged on your attention? That power exists. It's real. It's not about magic or manipulation in the classic sense. It's about understanding human psychology and knowing how to use it. Obsession doesn't come from love. It stems from something deeper, something darker. It grows in the area between certainty and bewilderment, between proximity and distance, between pleasure and agony. And if you know how to establish that area, govern that space, and live within it, you'll never be forgotten. In this dark psychology script, I'll teach how to make someone fascinated with you, step by step, with real-world instances. And in the end, I'll teach you how to utilize that knowledge not only to control others, but to defend yourself from being dominated. Let's begin. The core truth: obsession thrives on uncertainty. Here's the first reality you need to accept. People don't get infatuated with what they understand. They get preoccupied with something they can't quite figure out. Our minds are programmed to seek patterns, certainty, and closure. But when we meet something or someone that doesn't offer us all the answers, we become locked in a mental cycle. We keep pondering, analyzing, wondering. That's where infatuation is formed. Think about your favorite movie twist, the one you had to watch 3 times just to completely grasp. That confusion, that curiosity, that mental ache you couldn't scratch. That's how obsession feels in human relationships. If you're always accessible, reliable, pleasant, sweet, people may like you, but they won't obsess over you. Now think about this. Have you ever had someone offer you just enough attention to keep you optimistic, but never enough to feel secure? One day they text back promptly, the following day they vanish for hours. One day they commend you, the next day they're distant. That emotional whiplash, that push and pull, is not random. It's calculated. It causes dopamine spikes in the brain, the same physiological reaction that occurs during gambling or addiction. You don't know what's coming next. You get hooked not on the person, but on the unpredictability they produce. The brain likes patterns, but it obsesses with shattered ones. So, if you want to make someone enamored with you, you don't offer them continual affection. You offer them moments of great connection, followed by times of retreat. Let's break it down further. Step 1. The mirror trick: become their reflection. People are most infatuated with people who make them feel visible. And the simplest method to accomplish that? Become a mirror. Listen intently as they talk, not to reply, but to reflect. Use their words, beliefs, and interests like a paintbrush. Paint a version of oneself that seems familiar to them. If they enjoy travel, speak about your goals of exploring new locations. If they despise small chat, go deep. If they believe in astrology, seem to be inquisitive about it. This is not about lying. It's about mirroring, a fundamental psychological approach that creates implicit trust. When others recognize themselves in you, they feel validated, they feel linked, and most significantly, they feel protected. But here's the sad twist. Once you make someone feel seen, you retreat. You lower the frequency. You postpone the reply. You change the tone. This quick gap generates pain. They'll strive to close it by reaching out more, thinking more, studying what you say or don't say. Congratulations. You're living rent-free in their head. Step 2. The value flip: be hot and cold. Now that they're emotionally committed, you build the roller coaster. Remember this: certainty is dull. Confusion is addicting. One instant you're all in. The next you're distracted. One day you're full of praises. The next you say nothing. This causes what psychologists call intermittent reinforcement. It's the strongest sort of behavioral conditioning. The same method casinos employ to keep gamblers engaged, even when they're losing. When individuals don't know what to anticipate, they invest more. They pursue. They guess. They overthink. And in the process, they grow infatuated. Let's assume you compliment their intellect today. Tomorrow, you disregard their message. The day after, you tell them you had a dream about them. Then you disappear for a day. They'll spiral. Did I say something wrong? Why is she acting different? Do they still like me? Their ideas orbit you like a satellite, and you scarcely have to try. Obsession isn't about being kind. It's about being unforgettable, because you make their emotions surge and fall like waves. Step 3. The scarcity effect. Make your presence rare. Humans crave something they can't have. If you're constantly accessible, always reacting, always expressing interest, you become average. But when your presence becomes scarce, you become valued. This is termed the scarcity effect. Make your time, attention, and energy seem like a premium. Let them think you're busy, important, desired by others. Post images where you look your best, but don't describe your life. Let them ponder. Let them fill in the gaps. Mention casually that you're chatting to other individuals, that others think you intriguing. Not to make them jealous, but to make them feel disposable. Once someone believes they're not your sole choice, they work harder to become it. And when you reward that effort with a little moment of attention or love, their brain produces dopamine again. It becomes a cycle: pursue, reward, withdrawal. And each time the hunger increases. Step 4. The mystery code. Never reveal everything. This is where most people fail. They overshare. They divulge too much too soon. But mystery is magnetic. Think of yourself like a book people can't stop reading, but you pull out a few pages. Every time they believe they understand you, show them a new layer, a different aspect, a fresh paradox. Be nice but also cold. Be open yet also remote. Be profound but also amusing. Humans detest open loops. When a tale isn't ended, we keep reliving it in our brains, trying to finish the conclusion. So never let them conclude the tale of you. Leave clues, glimpses, puzzles. That's how you get people obsessed, not with your body, but with your thoughts. Bonus truth: obsession fades when control is gained. The instant someone realizes they have you, the obsession fades. Control kills curiosity. Certainty destroys desire. So always keep a part of yourself just out of reach. Once they feel like they possess you, that they've won you, the hunt stops, and they seek for the next enigma. So if you want to retain obsession, keep unpredictability. Stay emotionally intelligent. Stay one step ahead. Be kind, but never predictable. Final message: light in the dark. Now, here's the reality they don't tell you in dark psychological books. Power without purpose becomes poison. You can utilize these approaches to modify, to control, to bend others to your will. But ask yourself, why do you want someone fascinated with you? Is it to feel worthy? To fill a void? To show your value? Because here's the paradox. When you actually appreciate yourself, you don't need someone to obsess over you. You want someone who picks you freely and fully, not because they're confused, but because they're clear. These tactics, they work. But with tremendous power comes enormous responsibility. So utilize this understanding to see through manipulation, to avoid becoming someone's puppet, to detect when you are being manipulated. And if you do use it, let it be a mirror, not a weapon. Make folks feel seen, challenge them, inspire them, but never damage them for your own ego. Because the strongest sort of obsession is mutual elevation. Two brains dancing in mystery. Two hearts inquisitive, not controlled. Be the sort of person people choose, not the kind they can't escape from. And in that gap between dark and light, you'll discover actual strength.